All right, now that you know what the Media Kit is, why it is so important, what goes into it, and how to create one, there's one more thing that we need to talk about, and where should you sending it out to and when? Because this is a very crucial point. This is the time when you actually use the Media Kit to create relationships with brands. As I mentioned before, there are mainly two ways why you would be communicating with a brand and sending them out, sending the Media Kit out. One is to create content together, have an invite or a press pass to an event, or maybe have a product sent out for a review, or you're reaching out to a brand to create a sponsorship, a relationship with them, or both. It's definitely up to you. But what's important is that you actually make that connection, and a Media Kit is a fast way to do that. So how do you do that? And at one point, now you want to send out your Media Kit pretty much at the first possible chance you have. Yes, you might actually be able to reach out and communicate and make a connection with a brand on a social media platform like Twitter or Instagram. That's not exactly where you can send out a PDF file, though. Remember, you should have a link. If they're asking for it, boom, make sure to send it their way. But sooner or later, you should get on email and have an introductory email sent out to them, because that is still the most acceptable and the most common way to communicate in the corporate world. So make sure that you attach that PDF file to your email. I know sometimes it's kind of it's easy to forget, because you would come from a conference, you have 30 business cards, you want to get back to everybody as soon as you can. You're typing, a nice meeting you emails, and boom, you forget to attach your Media Kit. You shouldn't. This should always be within reach, and you should always remember to do that. Now, of course, there are other ways how you can do that. Business cards is another good way to communicate it. When you are handing out your business card to a PR person or marketing person, obviously you haven't had a chance yet to introduce yourself in a digital form, but they'll keep that business card if they're interested, and they might say, you know what, I really don't want to talk to this person just yet, but look, I can actually check out their Media Kit, get to know the person and the brand a little bit more before I reach out. And that could be the difference between that brand reaching out to you and not reaching out to you. Now, I know business cards are handed out to all kinds of people, and some brands, some people end up creating two different types of business cards. One is specifically for PR and business and marketing people when you go into conferences and events, and another one is for everybody else. So for that first category, you want to put that link, and that's why it's important to have a short link so people can type it in without being annoyed, so they can reach your PDF kit. USB stick. That's something that will set you aside from everybody else, especially if it's branded. Yes, I know it's an investment, but if you're ordering like 100 or 500 of them, it could be, if it's within your budget, you definitely will impress that way as well. Because when you go out on conferences, if you have already, you probably know that's how the brands give you their Media Kits, their demos, and so forth. So if you kind of reciprocate this with the same, it's usually pretty impressive. Put it in your signature of your emails. Now, this is kind of putting it on your business card. It's there. You can always point to it, even though I still prefer that you do it as an attachment, but it never hurts. Don't forget, Media Kits is something where the brand may not want to ask your questions just yet, but if they see it down there, they will click on it and get to know you without really asking the questions. That could be the difference between them contacting you or communicating with you further, or just pretty much ghosting you, which does happen a lot, unfortunately. LinkedIn profile. Now, in my other course where I talked about how to make connection with brands and go all the way to getting a sponsorship, LinkedIn is an extremely important social media platform. This is where it is the easiest to reach out to PR people, to marketing people. So if you don't have a LinkedIn profile, you need to drop whatever it is that you're doing right now and create one, because it will be an essential part of doing business online with these brands. And therefore, that is a perfect place to put a link to your Media Kit. You a lot of times you don't know when they are checking you out. They might come across your profile and say, I wonder, I'd like to know a little bit more about this social media influencer, but I don't want to start a conversation and kind of spend my time talking to this person just yet. So if you have your media kit that they can check out, that also may be a difference between them reaching out to you and maybe just getting busy and seeing other profiles and kind of forgetting about you. So LinkedIn profile, that's where your media kit should go as well. So these are pretty much the most important, most common ways how you would communicate your media kit to a brand. But of course, there are others. I never want to limit you. I keep saying it throughout all of my courses. Make sure to adjust whatever into whatever hyper niche, whatever industry you're in. There might be other ways how it is more appropriate to communicate it. Pigeon mail could just be the way they do business in your industry, and then therefore you should have a pigeon and the way to transfer your media kit that way. So make sure to adjust. But most importantly is to, of course, to have it and to not forget to send it out. Make sure to mention that you have it. Make sure to communicate it to them because it makes a huge difference.